Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena I'm taking a look at an Esper mill deck. So, is this version of Esper the greatest? Is it the finest? Is it what you should be playing? Honestly, no to all of those things. This Esper deck isn't here meant to be the greatest Esper deck you can play in the meta right now. This Esper deck is here as an alternative to people who are sick of the current iteration of Esper and have very specific taste in what they think a control deck should be. For one thing, if you enjoy milling the opponent, we have Patient Rebuilding and Bond of Insight so that you win by milling the opponent down to 0 cards. The other things that we should make note of with this deck, thing number 1, no counter spells. If you hate control, no, let's put it this way. If you want to try control, but the thing that always turns you off the most about Magic are counter spells, this is a deck that you can play. Second, no planeswalkers. So if planeswalkers have driven you absolutely crazy and you hate them and you want out of this kind of spiral of planeswalkers, this deck has none of those either. So third, no thought erasure. So no hand hate as well. Now, I bring these up because these are cards that people complain about a lot. I'm not immune. These are not cards I like to play against. Thought erasure, Teferi, counterspells, they've all frustrated me at some point in some way, and I usually defend them as an important part of the game. What we're going to show here, or at least maybe show, is we're going to go out, play this deck, and see how it can do without those cards. Like, is control, and therefore these colors, and even this type of mill win condition, does it even make sense without these cards? I do predict we could do okay against creature decks. I also predict that we're going to have a very hard time and probably lose every control mirror that we come up against. I'm not going to probably play those out very much. But let's also just see if it's a good experience. Like, does removing those things and turning your deck into a deck that basically tries to kill all the opponent's stuff, draw some extra cards, and win with milling, is that now a fair deck? Is that a deck that people in comments could get behind if these type of cards were removed from control? I'd really love your comments on this one. It's definitely one of those things where we have all these effects that tilt people, like planeswalkers, like counterspells, like thought erasure. We complain about them, we complain about them, we complain about them. We say, what if the world didn't have them? I'm going to show you a deck that doesn't have them. Some of you might still call it cancer, which is not a term I enjoy. Actually, very few things make me a little more annoyed than calling this deck or that deck cancer in my comments. I think it's a very lazy way to describe something, because cancer is not a joke if you have somebody in your family with the actual disease, and it's not funny either. But anyway, that's just a whole other side tangent. So if you see me not responding to your comments because you called a deck cancer, that's why. All right, now that I've had a little bit of a side rant and I've told you what I'm up to with the deck, let's go play it. Let's see what happens. Can we compete without those very powerful effects that have become so synonymous with Esper? Let's see. Looks fun. Let's try it. All kinds of fun things. Lots of life gain. Alright, and it looks like we're up against a creature deck, which should be the matchups that we're gunning for. In this theoretical world, without counterspells, without thought erasure, without the plainies, this deck would be really popular and would bump into a bunch of these decks. But how would these decks battle each other, I wonder? Probably not going to find out today. So I could Oath you. It's kind of weird to play Oath of Kaya with no planeswalkers, I might add, but you just need that. You just need that life gain. I could also just wait and Kaya's Wrath, which I think I can take another hit from the Butcher. It is a lot of overall damage to give up, but with all the life gain in my hand, it feels doable. Mortify is the first instant we've drawn to get back the Acuity. Here's the Judith. So yeah, this will be the most painful Kaya's Wrath I've probably ever cast. But do what you gotta do. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Now we need to Enter the God Eternals and Oath of Kaya to bring it all back, as well as the Acuity. My opponent just, like, straight up sixes me here, like Lightning Strike into Lightning Strike. Make me sad. War Boss. Okay. We got a Disfigure. That's something. Let's play the Acuity. Draw the card, because hitting our land drop here is really nice. We'll fire away the Disfigure. Bring them both back. And enter tapped, and continue. Okay. Some people will never be satisfied. Down to 4. Now it's time to spam them with the God Eternals. I think it should be this. Yeah, I think this is fine. And as far as who to mill, let's mill you. We might hit another Gutter Bones, which could suck. That's about it. Ooh, they got me. They got me. That's a sweet one. That's a sweet one. So I should have played the Oath of Kaya on turn 3. I got greedy on my Wrath, and that's what cost me that game. Nice Angrath. I didn't even consider, but nobody ever thinks of Angrath. Well, some people love Angrath. Some people would think of Angrath. Somebody out there was watching this video yelling, "Angrath, you're gonna lose to Angrath!" And they were right. They were right this one time. Alright. Life gaining card draw. So I think I want a Planar Cleansing in this deck really bad, because I've been thinking about how I probably get run over by Planeswalkers. I don't like it that it blows up my own Patient Rebuilding, but kind of want it. Jadelight Ranger, away we go. Look at him go. Just ramping. Gonna do all kinds of obnoxious things. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, we can disfigure this now. Does it matter if there's a body on the field? I don't think so. Okay, that's a good reason to wait, because disfiguring the new one, which could be a larger creature, is probably better than disfiguring the one that's locked in at a 2/1. Yeah, you'll probably hit a land drop or two. Sweet. Yeah. Tear it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The opponent about to hit that City's Blessing for the Arch of Arazka next turn. How much do I care? Well, nothing I can do about it anyway. Looking at this hand. Oath of Kaya. 1 turn late. Well, the opponent didn't choose to do it. That is, hit the City's Blessing this turn. I think they should have. So D-Spark can take you out, and then after that I suppose I have a Revitalize. I could also save the Opt, so I guess I'll just pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can't remove anything. Though that Arch is going to probably play a big part in this game. There's not anything I can really do to interfere with it. I just have to outdraw it now. Okay. For the love of God.
Recklessness and fear are the seeds of disaster. Truth lies beyond vision.
Alright. Bang, bang. I can deal 3 points to the Ugin. It's not particularly impressive by any means, but I can also play Enter the God Eternals, hope the Ugin ticks down to deal with it, and then Oath of Kaya the Ugin. And I think that's the play. Milia. This mono green Tron deck, it's so, I find it pretty stupid, to be honest. Like, just being honest, it's like creature, it's like the Simic version is so much better. It just has such higher upside thanks to Hydroid Crassus mass manipulation, and it seems like this version is just all in on planeswalkers that are pretty medium. Ugin's decent, but he's not great. Nissa is amazing, but you can run it in a different deck. I don't know if anybody asked for my opinion on this green Tron deck, but that's why I don't play it, because the Simic versions are so much better. The opponent can use the Leyline with a land, and they draw the land, so they're going to Leyline it up now, but Kaya's Wrath will reset things. Down to 8. Boom shakalaka. And another Acuity. The Opt can bring those back, the Disfigure can bring those back, and then we try to outdraw the Arch of Orazca. And we try to deal with Leyline here, which keeps pumping everything, and we need more answers to Planeswalkers because there's a lot more to come, I think. Do this during the main phase for the Acuity value. The sooner we find a Patient Rebuilding, the better. Patient Rebuilding is our Teferi in this deck. It doubles as a win con and a card advantage engine. But getting back D-Spark with Bond of Insight is kind of what we need to do to keep the Planeswalkers away. I think the other thing that we get back is either the Opt to keep the Acuities coming, or we can get back the Kaya's Wrath and just be ready for the opponent blowing up the board. And after some consideration, let's see, the D-Spark definitely, and I think the Wrath makes sense, but I'll play an Acuity first. Because I plan to play one anyway this turn, and maybe what I draw will inform me of what I want to bring back. Okay, another Bond. Well, with plenty of card advantage to go, I'll go ahead and Bond for the safe cards. So that would be Kaya's Wrath, D-Spark. Between the two of them, we can always deal with Nissa or Ugin and the thing they left behind. Plus the D-Spark does bring back the Acuities on its own. I just don't want to be forced into play it at the wrong time. Having a Bond means I can get it back again, so I don't have to worry about that as much. Okay. What you got? Sure. Oh, you can't play it this turn. Godpharaoh Statue's annoying. Spells costing additional 2. Another Kaya's Wrath. So I think we D-Spark the Great Creator and get it back with Bond. And we'd still have mana left over. I don't want to have to discard, so I'm going to do this first rather than play the other Acuity. Alright, there's the D-Spark. What else do we want? I suppose the Opt, just to keep the good things coming. Keep happy things happening. Let's look around here. Block a Worm hit the bin. So the statue comes down next turn. We have to D-Spark it. We can't D-Spark it with 2 mana anyway. We may as well play another Acuity. Dig, dig, dig. Blast Zone could be annoying. 22, 29. Blast Zone on 3 might hit our Acuities, but I think at that point we got our value. So let's... Well, no, we don't want to play that first. The extra mana cost just eats up all of our mana. Keep it coming. Now we need to find another Bond. Which there should still be 2 more. Bond. Insight Bond. Did you see something about, like, a spoiler for the new 007 movie that showed, like, 007 was a woman before the James Bond got the job of being 007? I think they did that to get some people to be like, what? And get a little hype. That's kind of a clickbaity move. When you hear that, you're like, what? a woman is 007, then you look at it, well, she was 007, but she wasn't James Bond. It's okay. It's okay, machismo dudes. Calm down. It's gonna be alright. If I were the opponent, I'd be using that Arch of Orazka. But, okay. You blew up the Acuities. There's plenty more where that came from. Fortunately for the opponent, we are bricking out a little bit right now, but that won't last forever. Enter the God Eternals. I guess we'll get a tap land out of the way. And discard a tap land. I am ready to blow stuff up. Our opponent found Nissa, who shakes the world. And they do have the proliferate power of the Bastion. So hopefully we're done with our Flood now, and we can draw something good. Uh-huh. I think we can still hit it with Enter the God Eternals. It produces 1, 2, 3. Actually, no. Leyline. Well, I guess we can God Eternal and disfigure it, and that's okay. Oh, good draw. So let's start there, because then our opponent can't use the counters, and if they don't use them in response, if they don't make the mana in response, God Eternals will resolve the way we want it to. 20 cards left in the deck. So in response, they should either activate Orazka or activate Leyline. And they go with the Leyline, okay?
I can help you no longer.
So I know that we want to do this. Sweet. Hit a whole bunch of Planeswalkers. And then we also want to Acuity, then play Disfigure. So that we get an extra Acuity ride. Really glad I drew the second D-Spark. We knew it was here, we just didn't know if we'd find it or the Bonds of Insight. Alright, you've got land. You've got 15 cards in the deck. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can grow this big enough. So I guess we got Eternals it. And that's going to be another 4 cards into the graveyard. Also giving us the alt win con of just smashing with an 8/8. All those Kaya's Wraths. All those Kaya's Wraths. Slam. Your move. We have a few more Bonds of Insight to get back some God Eternals. We have one more Patient Rebuilding to speed up the mill clock. And our opponent has 9 cards. So a Bond of Insight is pretty much game, because we can get back a God Eternals, and that puts their deck down to 1. Plus we don't know how many threats they have left. We've certainly seen a lot of threats flipped over. A few Ugins, a few Nissas have been exiled. Plane-wide Celebration, oh, it's on. We are not done. Our opponent did pull the Plane-wide Celebration, which is a card I love putting in this deck. I absolutely love it. Okay, and you have a Paradise Druid. Very nice. Paradise Druid can be your blocker here. So if I attack with you, the opponent is definitely going to block. We may as well make that happen. I'm not sure I use the Oath of Kaya here. This is going to tick down. The Karn is going to tick down, so the Oath of Kaya can hit that card. So I think we just hold on to that. And here's Patient Rebuilding. We'll see if the opponent can stop that. They have the Ugin, which might have to come down and take out the Rebuilding. The Ugin also wants to kill the 8/8. This is going to be a thing. The opponent has 1,000,000 mana. They have some of the strongest cards in their deck.
Defy the designs of an elder dragon.
Alright, they go straight for the rebuilding.
Past is unwritten.
Now the Oath of Kaya can hit the Ugin if that's what we want to, but the Ugin Plus helps mill them, so probably don't want to do that. The Karn is probably the better target. Is this going to be a Meteor Golem? A Helm of the Host? On the Palaka Worm? Sure. I think that's a regrettable grab, to be honest. I mean, they know about the Kaya's Wrath. This just means that they draw a few more cards here. I mean, that's a good attack. Don't get me wrong. Nice turn. Ooh, the Bond. Well, we definitely start there. That puts our opponent down to 4 cards. We just need 4 more cards, and we have Enter the God Eternals to get back. Bang, bang. And now, we kill our opponent with their own Palaka Worm. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Let's see what the celebratory pack holds. Gems! Yeah. Yeah, that's the pack life on this account. I mean, we'll draw the land. It'll be great. It'll even be a black mana source. Yes! Free play, free play, free play, free play, free play. Just rolling right into a next one. Cut it? Nah. People have to know how my name strikes terror into the hearts of men and women who play this game. Put in comments, have you ever conceded? Have you ever looked at your opening 7 and immediately scooped? Maybe, okay, I definitely have, and the situation was this. I picked the wrong deck. I picked the wrong deck. I think that's a decent reason, right? Here's what you think. Boom, Snapkeep. We'll draw the land. This D-Spark will hit something on turn 4. It's going to be fantastic. How about you? You want to play Magic? You brought your cat. Don't tell me you brought your cat for nothing. You wanna play with me, kitty? You wanna be my friend? No? Okay. Mono red, always down for a game. Alright. So I could disfigure it. I want to at least wait and see if there's a runaway Steamkin. That land implies our opponent won't light up the stage unless they're being kind of silly. Epic battle, rivals, tale as old as time, Red versus Esper. And the opponent does not play a Steamkin, so we'll be disfiguring Pyro Boy. And this is it, land! Why would I draw land? Of course I'm not drawing land. Probably one of my best matchups. I'm probably gonna lose on 2 land. Magic! Don't we love magic, everybody? Don't we love it? Okay. Let's make something happen. Kai's Wrath next turn. 14 life. About to be 11. Then probably about to be something like 5. That land a turn sooner. Be the beautiful life. As it is, Yeah, it is going to be 5. And you see the stick. The opponent still has another lightning bolt. So they just need one more. Alright, well that's not what they played. Boom. Oh, that card. Like, the best possible card they could have against me that doesn't really get played as much as it used to, but you're in Arena. Never change. One lightning strike from Doom. Sure. We don't start playing until turn 3, and we're on the draw, so we might be dead by then, but hey. Got a lot of options. Can't be too mad about that. And what do we got here? Sultai? Sultai Elementals, yes. Of course. The Reef is getting Riz. Alright, let's just not do that. Go away. Nobody likes you. What did I say? Wrath. Bingo. Just gotta keep things off the board, and now, of course, Command the Dreadhorde wrecks us. But hey, what can you do? Alright. Healer of the Glade. What else you got? Blood for Bones. Reef value. What a champion. I do like the Blood for Bones. I don't think that gets used quite enough in these decks. So letting the opponent get more Reef value is, you know, we could just let them have it. If they're trying to mill, oh, we're trying to mill them. That said, though, they'll draw so many threats, it's probably a pretty bad idea. But the other, like, there is the option, right? Let them play out all these dorks, especially if they're going to use ways to get them back out of the graveyard anyway. And we can just try to start our value engine, which is Acuity. And we do need to hit our land drops to do it. Having another Wrath makes that a lot better. They can get some action, but they can't get too far ahead. But we need more land. This deck should probably run 26 land. I ran 24 because it was an easy way to cut 2 lands to get the 4 ops into the deck. But these revitalizes, quite honestly, we don't need more life gain. What we need are more land. Alright, champ, you left a black floating. Let's see what's up. Let's see what you do with it. Do the thing. I think I'll just let... Man, I really could just let it go. I don't know what it all does, or if the opponent is trying to Dreadhorde, or if they really are going to mill themselves, or if they're going to try to win with Jace after they do all that milling. Thing about Jace is we can remove it with Vraska's Contempt or D-Spark. I'm just going to keep pursuing my own value train, I think. As long as we hit our land drops. We just gotta keep hitting land drops. So that we can keep up and do something awesome every turn and get to the point of the game where we're casting Bond of Insight over and over again. So, do I hold up an instant or do I get this back? Let's just get it back. It also mortify the mana engine. I guess slowing down the mana is probably the better thing. Actually, I haven't seen what giant elemental... Actually, it's Yarick, right? Yarrick's probably the thing that needs to die, instantaneously. I don't need this back right this second. It's a pretty tough call. Of course, Yarick, it can also blow up, and it helps the opponent mill faster, so... Let's just do this. Alright, we've got a land drop for next turn. Which means we can get a Kaya's Wrath going, hit our 7th land. Hopefully Dovin's Acuity helps us make our 8th land so we can Bond of Insight into Kaya's Wrath and do that over and over if that's what we need to do. And the opponent's going to have a fun turn. Let's see what happens. Neoform. Or 3-drop. Another Reef. You did it. I mean, yeah, they get to, like, spew their deck. Can they go all the way this turn? I mean, I'm hoping that if they have a Jace, I get a chance to Vraska's it. And I may need to leave 4 mana open when their deck gets to a certain level. Can they go through 34 cards this turn is kind of an interesting question. And if they do, it'll make for a great video. Do 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 do. Flood of Tears. Omniscience? Okay. I guess holding up the Mortify would have been amazing. And they're even a troll with the good game. They must have a Jace ready to go. Well, we can watch it play out. I think this could be fun. Hit the 2x speed if you get bored. I probably don't have something to say through the whole thing, but we'll let our opponent do their thing. At least this is a combo I think I sort of did. Alright, well they're showing me in case I want to scoop. That's the only reason to play it that soon. It is too bad I didn't have the Mortify up. That's my bad. Alright, looking back at this deck, it has a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And that's, well, the biggest problems are obviously that we're probably not using the best cards for the job. I think that Oath of Kaya doesn't fit. I believe that really should have been with the Planeswalkers, so there's still a few adjustments to be made. Patient Rebuilding, I never even got this card going. Not once. Not a single time did I rebuild a darn thing, so that's a problem. That's a problem. Maybe I had bad draws. Maybe it was a bad experience. I think that what I want to do, though, is a version with Planar Cleansing. Because with Planar Cleansing and Bond of Insight and Patient Rebuilding, maybe we can just cut the Patient Rebuilding and run Mirari Conjecture to get back the Planar Cleansings and the Enter the God Eternals and the Bond of Insights and double them over and over. That might be a lot better, and I think I want to give it a try. Otherwise, the early removal is certainly jacked up. I do want those lands. I felt the lack of hitting land drops way too often. Way too often, you guys. So we're going to do that. And maybe it is okay to run some Temple of Silence in your Esper. I don't know. But I'm going to give it a shot. After that, we need a little bit more early interaction. It's tempting to run D-Sparks. Even more of them, so that Planeswalkers don't necessarily kill me, but with Planar Cleansing, I'm hoping to have a decent answer to that situation. Perhaps more Vraska's Contempts can be it, but I also just don't want to fall too far behind and get beat down. Cast Down's a decent card. Tyrant Scorn is not. I don't have a creature to bounce, and I think that Cast Down is just better at the moment with more targets. Plus, we have plenty of ways to hit the larger creatures and Mortify and things like that. But it's also very tempting to run more modal spells and just have more Mortifies available. Especially to tag that Omniscience. Now I'm like looking back at it like, why did I tap out? However, variety is a good way to do it. Variety is important. Is there anything else that like can just mill the opponent? We could run some Search for Iskantas and to just keep the value going. I feel like Bond of Insight is that value train though without Iskanta. Yeah, I like Iskanta a lot, though. And is Iskanta like one of those cards that's unfair? We've already cut so many of the cards from the deck. No counters, no Planeswalkers. Is cutting an Iskanta... Is like running an Iskanta that bad? Doesn't seem like it should be that bad. Maybe some Revitalizes to bridge the gap aren't the worst thing. That's how I ended up on that card to begin with. I'll stick with Revitalize for the time being. Yeah, I think this might be the better build. And now we're milling people with the Bond of Insight. Planar Cleansing, you're new to the build. You can run the yard. Huh. I think I'll actually try one more game. Alright, wish me luck. We're going to try to go out on a high note. This hand doesn't do anything for several turns, which scares me. But I don't mulligan too often in unranked. What happens, happens. Vampire of the Dire Moon. Okay, it's on. Actually really happy to draw that Dovin's Acuity. It's pretty much exactly the bridge card I need here to make sure that I hit my land drops and do my things. Vampires? Alright. I think this will be a worthy test. The vampire deck can be brutal. And it definitely has some pedigree now that a few copies placed in the top 8 of a Star City Open might not be the worst deck in the format. And look at Mavi Fane. They didn't have Sorin, but they had Mavi Fane. Let's try to hit our land drop. Take that action. No. Go up to 26 lands, miss land drops? No. So here I like holding up this figure, but I also like holding up D-Spark in case our opponent plays a Sanctum Seeker. But we have a Kaya's Wrath. Let's just see what happens when we say go. Opponent's a little fidgety there as I make some choices. Icon of Ancestry. So that's not D-Sparkable. That's actually going to be kind of a pain to deal with. Let's go ahead and disfigure away the Maverin Fane. Avoid taking a little bit of damage. Take 6 though here. Probably best to keep hitting the land drops. I could Wrath this board. Force the opponent to rebuild. That's probably just better, right? Especially when they could play a Champion of Dusk if I did something else. And a land off the top is Enter the God Eternals on whatever they do play, which is solid. Alright, Danto's an annoying one. We're going to need more Disfigures. Thank you. Please draw land. Thank you. Alright, deck is on board right now. So I could play this and shock it and hold stuff open, but I just want to disfigure and get my Dovin's Acuity back. I think that's the best thing to do here. Opponent is a cat spammer. You can hear it over there, but I have the graphics turned off, so you don't see the nuclear stuff. Okay, another one. That's obnoxious. But Bond of Insight can fix it. Or another Disfigure can fix it. Why not? Let's keep trying to hit the land drops. Yeah, the opponent is trying to spam me out with the cat thing. I did hear that people got banned for that. Yeah, keep the land. My comments pretty much went nuts when I used the cat a lot to try to assert dominance, that people were getting banned. Apparently Dr. Claw X does not care. Gives 0 purrs about that. 0 foxes are given. One is just going to icon every turn for that value, and I don't blame them. They have plenty of land, they've got the icon, gotta use it. We're going to keep digging for planar cleansing. That's our big plan. So this turn, do we Acuity? I think the God Eternals is where it's at. Pew! Conclave Tribunal, Sorin, Twilight Prophet down. Alright. Now, we could have a D-Spark available. I think that's actually fine, actually, because the opponent may play Champion of Dusk. We'd want to exile that with the trigger on the stack. Cut down the amount of cards our opponent draws. At 15 life, I think it's worth it, and we can always revitalize. Contempt, sure. Opponent probably has a good amount of removal saved up. Is that the 4th one? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3rd one. Alright, let's revitalize. Another Acuity looks nice. Another God Eternals looks nice. So let's play a Bond, get back a Disfigure, and a what? We're going to dump some things into the yard. We might just want 2 disfigures, but let's start here. Let's look at what our opponent milled there. So they have the Aerialist in their deck. I guess another Kai's Wrath probably isn't too bad against this deck. But also just hitting the God Eternals every turn eventually, like, mills them out. So Disfigure for the Vanguard is a certainty. Is the other card Kai's Wrath? I think if they just put a huge board on the field, I'll want this. So we'll grab it. And why not now? Before the opponent gets to untap. Just in case they have something. Some instant speed way to pump a vampire. Maybe they just run that Vampire Zeal for old time's sake. This is Arena. People do weird things. They could have cast it that turn if they had it, but they could have drawn it too. They finally whiffed on Icon. Another Disfigure. That cat just doesn't stop. So, yeah, let's keep the Acuities coming. Land drops, land drops, land drops. Land drops, land drops, land drops. And... no land drops for me. Let's try the opt. Now, do I want these back? I'll take one, and not the other. I don't want to discard. And the only thing I'm really looking for here is land. There we go. And I'll play it tapped. No need to pay the 2 life here. I can hold on to Disfigure. Once we have a ton of mana, playing Enter the God Eternals every turn is pretty smooth. Now I wish I had the mana for the Zealot. I've been playing around a Champion of Dusk coming down for a while. Oh well. It's helping me mill. I think we're okay. I think it'll be okay. See if we can draw into Planar Cleansing, I suppose? Another Wrath. Yeah, let's just set him back on the Wrath train. Vona. Vona's a bossy one, which can be desparked. So can Conclave Tribunal. But I don't know how many of those we're going to come up against. Actually, this is another pretty good Wrath board. Now that the opponent's played 2 things. Well, first I'm going to opt. Yep, the opponent is still trying to cat spam me out. If this doesn't add a little motivation to all of you at home. Or they're OCD. Try to think a little better of people, but it's hard. It's hard, man. Some people just can't stop touching their pussy cat. Alright. Dovin's Acuity. Icon for an Aerialist. The battle continues. There's the cleansing. Our opponent has 24 cards. I have 27. And now it's pretty much time to start with the God Eternals, I think. Alright, trigger on the stack. We'll despark that. Probably a few more Champs of Dusk to go in there. Alright, let's do this. Get some extra mills. Get this thing over with. Oh, stop touching the cat and click OK. Jeez, I'm feats. Children these days. Alright, you got another baby vamp. And here you go. And another Contempt. Sure. You're gonna use removal. Contempt hits a lot of things. I think I like Tribunal better, but who am I to tell people how to use their stuff? What are you doing, Soren? You gonna boost this? Yeah, we'll just use an Enter the God Eternals on it and try to empty your library. I know we could have disfigured in response, but I want to get these cast. Let's keep unloading that deck. Down to 13 cards left. And I suppose we can Contempt the Soren. Gets back the Acuities. This is something I often forget because it's a very expensive way to get back the Acuities at 4 mana. I also get in the habit of holding the Contempt for like huge targets, so I don't even think about it at that point. I'm mostly thinking about whether or not that's the right target. Acuity, Acuity, Acuity. The moon returns. Tribunal comes down to take out the Zombo. Alright. Let's play you. Disfigure the vampire. Take him. Opponent fighting till the bitter end with 12 cards left in deck. I'm sure that there might not even be vampires anymore. With the icon putting all those cards on the bottom. Let the party continue. I'm sure it'll bring a scoop at some point. I'm gonna take one of them back, not the other. Don't want to discard. "41 life. 11 cards to go. Does Icon have any hits left?" Okay. Alright, we're still doing it. The Zealot is here. Another Bloodlord is here. Start the heartbeat sound effect. There's a Mortify. I'll play this, and then Planar Cleanse, and then play both Acuities, rather than play an Acuity, then play this, then play 2. It is a card less, but it's okay. D-Spark, don't think you're going to be very relevant. Wrong matchup.
My heart is too hollow to care.
Soren doesn't care. And keeping that party going and going and going. With 9 cards left, we just need to find another mill effect. I feel like all the Bonds of Insight are down here. And they must be. They must be down here. Kind of crazy. Mirari Conjecture as well. And we still haven't found them. Getting deeper and deeper. We could have brought back the Dovin's Acuities with Mortifying on them. I think that's a little cute and not something I need to do. Now we have a Mortify target from the opponent's side. There's another Cleanse. Bang. Boom, boom, boom. I'm pulling them all back. Done with this nonsense. Let's find the darn mill cards and finish this. Thank you. And now Bond will probably hit another Bond. It's very close. Very close and scary to almost being certain death. But here comes the God Eternals. And that will do it. And now we just have to pass the turn, so it doesn't matter what we discard, and boom. So what I want to know, is this deck fair? We took out most of the cards people complain about. All the Planeswalkers, all the counterspells, all the Thought Erasures. Are you still going to complain about this deck? And if so, will you ever not complain about control decks? Control decks are an important part of the game. They're not going to disappear, no matter what you say. Maybe we could all do a little bit better by just learning not to complain about them. You can just play and let it go. A little bit of acceptance. I don't know. That would be like asking me not to complain about mono red decks. I don't know if that's gonna ever happen. So, big ideas and then human nature clashing right here on the channel. I didn't enjoy the deck as much as the other Esper deck, to be honest. The things I didn't feel powerful. And I think that a lot of what they're trying to do with Magic right now is give you opportunities to do things that, while they can cause bad feelings when they happen to you, they feel powerful. Steamkin and Frenzy feel powerful. Teferi feels powerful. Nissa and Giant Hydroid Crassus feels powerful. So I think that that is the side of Magic they're pushing and the side that we have to get used to. Anyway, hope this didn't get too deep for you. If you stayed till the end, please leave me a comment that you stayed to the end. It means a lot to me because this will be a longer video. And I'm going off to Barcelona. Of course, by the time you're watching this, I'll almost be back. So I hope that you've enjoyed the daily videos. It's been a lot of work to get them all done, and I think I only have a few more days of making 3 videos a day to cover the span of the vacation. And if you do appreciate it, if you're getting a lot out of my channel, consider supporting it. I'm not going to talk about it endlessly, but there's some things in the description, a lot of different ways that you can support the channel and help me make content full time. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.